All right, so one of the things let me just bring this up now, and I'll just shrink this so it fits in the application window. So one of the things we want to just cover now is our back testing. And the reason why we're going to talk about this now is because early next week, most of us are going to be hard at it in back testing. So we'll probably spend 15 minutes or so just going through our initial presentation, and we'll finish it off early next week on Tuesday. And I have uploaded the back testing spreadsheet to the mind map resources map, which everybody's got access to. So that's the backtesting work log. So let's go through, and now just a quick question before we start. How many of you have actually done a fair bit of backtesting before? Who has spent a bit of time enjoying the benefits of backtesting? Anybody not done any backtesting, or anybody's had done a significant amount of backtesting? That's okay. So anybody done a fair bit? Anybody not done any? Anybody done a bit yet? So Adrian, Dave, not much. No, Dave. Karen, have you? I know you've done a bit, Karen. Done a bit of backtesting. Alright, so let's jump into it. Why backtest? Really, you cannot trade with confidence if you've not backtested what you plan to trade. So the reality is, if you do not know, or you have not physically gone through your charts and tested your system, then you will not have the confidence to trade it. It's as simple as that. Doesn't matter how good a trader you are, how long you've been trading, you need to know how your system works, and you need to build that confidence by going through and logging trades. It doesn't have to be 1,000 trades, it doesn't have to be a couple of hundred trades, but you definitely need to put time into backtesting. It has to happen. You need to create your trading plan around the testing you do. So it's all about building your probability table and developing your money management position sizing strategy. So you can see, even with money management module 1, we're already starting to link the two together, aren't we? We're saying you need to have your back testing done. What that will do will help you build your money management plan and position sizing, because you will know the performance of your strategy, you will know how you can position size into trades, when to do it, where the risk is. So you really need to do this manually to be able to get a feel for your system and build up the confidence that you seriously need to trade. So if you haven't done this, then you're wasting your time in the market. To be serious about trading, you have to do this, and it doesn't have to be, as I said, 1,000 trades. It can be as small as, say, 100, but it needs to be a number that you can actually log and get a feel for your system. So let's go through here. So the reason why most people do not make money trading, or one of the reasons why people don't make money trading, and there's a plethora of reasons, but this is another one of them, is that they don't actually ever develop any ownership or accountability for their system. So that means that a lot of people will pick up a system or grab a system, and they never really test it properly. They might we talked about beliefs and accepting what people say. Well, some people will pick up a system, never test it, just accept that what is said is truthful, and never really scrutinise or go through and test the system to make sure, one, it's got a positive expectancy, that they can trade it during its drawdown period. These are the things that we need to know to be able to trade it consistently and be profitable. If we don't do that testing ourselves, we're never really going to be able to confidently trade our system. And that's how we develop discipline and put our plan together. We do that by testing, by looking at all the scenarios, by going through and looking at how the system trades in the market and how it performs, and that's how we build our rules and our trade plan, and that's how we become consistently profitable, because with that journey that we take through our testing, that helps us to really start to build our confidence as we trade. So a lot of traders get to a point where they can read the charts, but they can't really get profitable. So they find that, look, I can see exactly what I need to do, but I can't translate that into being a profitable trader. Well, if you go through and test your strategy, and you go through, see the winners, see the losers, see the losing runs, the winning runs, you're actually starting to convince yourself and truly believe that your system actually has an edge in the market. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, once we do this testing, that's what we're doing. We're determining or validating the profitability and the statistical edge that we have in the market. Without that validation, we're not going to be able to have the confidence and the discipline to be able to stay in the trades. Because if we know, if you've never tested a system before, and you basically, it's a very simple strategy, you have 3 losers in a row like Karen was saying before, and you suddenly find you've got 3 or 4 losers in a row, and you start doing what Karen was saying and cutting your profit short to protect your winners, or adding additional contracts to increase your profitability, you're really going to struggle to do well with that strategy, because you haven't gone back and tested its worst losing run, and you haven't developed a trade plan based on all those hours of testing. So it does mean that you have to put in that work to build that confidence up. Now, it'll also mean that if you do put in the work and the time to build your plan up and test the market that you're trading, you actually start to get the discipline to be able to trade that in real time. So when we talk about going through and making sure that we test our strategy, part of that is proving you've got the discipline to actually do the exercise. So if you're not prepared to do the testing, then you're probably going to struggle to actually trade it real time and follow a disciplined trade plan. So that's why we say we want you to do at least 100 trades to get a feel for the system, so you can tell me, look, the system's good. It did have a really bad run, during this period. I've accepted that as part of the overall profitability of the system. I know it's going to have a losing run. So that, I can see you typing, Karen. Yep. Did you? Yeah. So that's one of the primary reasons why we test and we do our back testing. So why do you need to back test? We've covered that. You'll get to know the markets you want to trade. So by doing the testing, you'll actually get a good feeling. Like we spoke about going to the Forex factories to have a look at the news trades and when the news is setting up, to make sure that we record those. We spoke about going to mypivots.com and just identifying what the daily range is for the market you're trading, what the high, the low, the open and the close, what the volume is. So you want to start to get a relationship with the market you're trading. The more you know about the market, the more you've got in relation to your knowledge, and the more confidence you're going to have trading. If you are trading a market that you know very little about, and you've spent very little time researching and doing any analysis on, then you're not going to know the nuances of the market. There might be times when, for example, crude oil has its inventories day on Wednesday. Do we trade before crude oil inventories on a Wednesday? Not typically. We can trade, say, before 9:30. There's usually a reasonable trade there. After about 9:30, it's a waste of time. So, another market, natural gas. It's a good market, good trending market. It's another energy market. Trades really well. That there is one day that you wouldn't even waste your time looking at natural gas, and that would be a Tuesday. Now, if you collect a lot of data or you do a system test off automated strategy that backtests. How are you going to know that Tuesday was, unless you break it down into day of the week, trading and performance, how are you going to know that Tuesday is a waste of your time? I tested the DAX data and I looked at breaking down the testing into time of the day and day of the week, and I found that Friday was the worst day to trade the DAX. I mentioned this yesterday. It made 500 euros over about, I think, 80 trades or 60 to 80 trades, and over a 3-month period. So that's just a waste of time. So for 3 months you've made $500, spending an hour or 3 hours it is trading every Friday. Complete waste of time. So you want to know those stats so you can spend, because the idea with us putting this time and effort into testing is that we can know exactly what time we should be trading, when we should be trading, what day of the week we need to trade, and really get a good feel for what is going to affect our trades. Is new setups going to affect our trades? Should we be trading through key levels, and should we be making sure that that the 50 levels on some of our markets, are they areas that potentially areas that reduce our profitability on our strategy? So things like that will definitely help us to increase our profitability, but also reduce the amount of time we spend in the market, because ultimately as traders our goal is to not have a lot of time in the market but make more money with less time. So it's leveraging our time. From our back testing, we will be able to use and learn from our back testing to be able to refine our trade plan and just get something that is going to work for us, because you might find that ultimately your trade plan takes a little bit of a turn in a new direction. Do you use COT data? What's COT data, Dave? Is that like cost of trade data? So you get confidence to stay disciplined and to hang in when the going gets tough. So again, we talk about making sure that when we do our testing, that it's going to build our confidence. So if we do experience a losing run, which you're going to do in your testing, you're going to see losers, and that's what we want to see. We want to see we're working out the worst possible drawdown on our trading account. That's what we're prepping ourselves for. So we definitely want to make sure we know that. What do I look for when I'm back testing? Does the market move and trend well enough for the time of the day, time frame I've chosen? Commitment of traders. Yep, I'll come back to that. So does the market move and trend well enough for the time of the day and time frame I've chosen? One of the big things we want to do when we're testing is, what are we looking for ultimately with our trading and our back testing? We're looking for a skewed reward to risk. That's what we ultimately want. We don't want to be trading where we're getting very, very poor moves, and we want to make sure that when we're trading, we've basically got on red, so sorry about that. So one of the things we want to do is make sure that we're picking up the big moves of the day, because that's going to help with our average winning trade. So best trading time, we want to make sure too that with our best trading time that we're basically trading the right time of the day. There's a period on another example period on natural gas. I traded natural gas for about 2 months, and then I've started to notice a little bit of a pattern set up that natural gas was really throwing up a lot of losers between 9 and 9:30. Now that I've had a little bit of time trading gas and then obviously trading the open of the US session, it stands to reason there's a lot of positioning between 9 and 9:30. So there's a little bit of jumpiness in that period. So if you've got a smaller trade setup, you can get knocked out of trade. So we found that 9 to 9:30 was an underperforming time. So we want to break